Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh and greetings to everyone. My name is Muhammad Nur Faisal bin Baharudin, and in this video, you are going to learn more about the massive open online courses or MOOC for BSR205 Building Surveying Practice 1 Module 1 entitled Introduction to Building Surveying. Today, we will cover on topic number 3, which is checklist or pre-forma for preparing a survey. But before anything else, I would like to remind you to please be on your most comfortable place, and of course, I demand for your attention during this learning session. Before we go in detail for the topics, I'm just curious, why do we need a building checklist? Is it compulsory before execute an inspection? Let's take a look first on the video given. Have you finished it? Let's think. A lot of building element, building component, areas, space, and anything else that need to be covered during an inspection. So, to facilitate the process, we need to prepare a building checklist. So, for today's topic content outline, we will cover on why pre-forma checklist. Is it important? Then we will look into introduction, checklist preparation, frequently asked question, building element, checklist preparation, pre-forma checklist, resources available, self-assessment quiz, self-assessment feedback, assess current performance, and recap session. Next slide will be topic learning outcome or TLO. At the end of the class, student will be able to achieve two numbers of TLO, which are TLO number 1, students are able to identify on the building element in typical building, and for TLO number 2, students are able to prepare a pre-forma checklist before conducting an inspection. Next, we will focus on why we need to prepare a checklist. Is it important? The preparation of checklist is actually can overcome the issues of missing the information. For example, when you are conducting a building inspection, you are dealing with a lot of building component and building element at one time. So the tendency to make a mistake is quite high. Second, effects on decision-making process. If you get a wrong information, it will affect a decision-making process. And last but not least, a comprehensive building inspection. Of course, if you are missing a several part or component in that particular building, it will affect a total result for building inspection. That is the reason why a pre-forma checklist is very important and very crucial during a condition survey process. We move to the introduction. First and foremost, what are checklists? According to Oxford Dictionary 2008, a checklist was defined as a list of items required, things to be done, or etc. How about the purpose of doing a checklist? According to Malcolm Hollis in Surveying Buildings 2005, he states that a checklist will help the surveyors to concentrate the key issues during building inspection. For checklist preparation, here some of the several FAQ or frequently asked questions that can be considered before conducting a survey. First, instruction. First of all, as a building surveyor, you have to confirm a client instruction. What is the intention of the client? They want to make a comprehensive building condition survey, which is include everything in the house or just several elements or components. Then, the second one, you have to confirm when you are going to be inspected. Is it on weekend or weekdays? And how long will take a survey? That's for instruction. For number 2 is tenure of the property. As a building surveyor, you have to confirm the status of the property. Is it leasehold or freehold properties? Then, you also have to confirm either you can access to the whole property. The third FAQ is the visit. A building surveyor has to ensure that any equipment to be used is in good order and calibrated. Fourth, the adjoining properties. When you are conducting a survey, you have to look at adjacent building or adjacent area. Is there any failures in similar properties? And also, there are many signs or symptoms at the adjacent property that can help a surveyor to find a possible causes. You also have to confirm, is there any major works being carried out within a property nearby? 5. The soil. As a building surveyor, you have to confirm what types of ground is the property built upon. And then you can check with the archive, is there any history of settlement that will affect a particular buildings? Number 6. The grounds. What is the condition of outbuildings? For instance, fence, wall, and etc. Number 7. Outside influences. You have to confirm, is there any factory or airport or heavy traffic that can give a significant impact to the property? And last, the inspection. The inspection is carried out based on element by element in the building, which is covered from substructure to superstructure. Without any assumption, the inspection should cover all the building element and component in that particular building. Next, let's take a look on the building element. This diagram illustrates where you may find some of the building elements referred, which have been prepared by RICS Home Buyer Report 2010. If you look at the diagram given, there is a lot of building element involved in typical double-story house. Starting from the top, a roof element such as rafter, purlin, hip roof, hip tile, ceiling joist, soffit, roofing felt, and others will be the most important aspect that need to be considered during an inspection. Moving down, particularly in building wall, the types of wall such as cavity wall, solid wall, gable end wall, and others will take into consideration. For waterproofing aspect, such as damp-proof membrane or DPM and damp-proof cost or DPC will be one of the most crucial elements. Ineffective for both elements will cause a building suffer with a moisture problem. In building services aspect, inspection chamber, manhole, soil and ventilation pipe should be focused during a survey. Let's move to the next slide, which is checklist preparation based on Code of Practice of Building Surveying 101. Basically, the inspection process or building condition assessment can be divided in 3 categories. First, external or site condition. Second, fabric and component. And third, services. For external and site condition, it will describe site and ground condition, exterior element of the building, parking areas, driveway, covered car park, landscape, and others. Meanwhile, on the fabric and component, it will describe the components of the building envelope, for example, the rooftop, parapet, external and internal facade, apron, perimeter drain, beam, column, floor, staircase, ceiling, wall, window, and door. Furthermore, for building services, it will cover on building mechanical and electrical services, for example, hot and cold water supply, air conditioning and mechanical ventilation system, sanitation and cleansing system, sewerage system, fire protection system, vertical and horizontal transportation system, gas special services, public address system or PA system, surveillance system, electrical services, safety and security, and sustainable services system. Next, pre-forma checklist. A key issues that should be considered during preparing a pre-forma checklist are identify the building element, item, and location, and identify the types of defect, recommendation, and condition. If you look at the diagram, this is a sample of pre-forma checklist. It will detail out a building name, a sectors, a surveyors, inspection date, time, and space number. Moreover, in the checklist table, it will focusing on the element of the building, the item of the building, location, description of defects, recommendation, and condition. The status of condition of that particular building can be categorized into 3 categories. A. Danger to occupant, which is include and affecting health and safety aspect. B. Unacceptable standard, which is based on regulation and law. And C. Need immediate action. The last column on your right side is remarks. This pre-forma checklist will be used during a building inspection exercise. Let's make a simulation. Let's say you are located at FSPU Annex 3 right now on the external compound. The element and component that you want to be inspect is curb. So you write down a curb element on the element column, and the item that you want to inspect is paint and concrete. How about the location of paint and concrete? It is located at parking area or bahu jalan. Then, what is the description of the defect? At the moment, a building surveyor will use a skill of diagnosing a building defects. For example, a defect found on the curb is faded of paint. So you have to write down on the column description of the defects, which is focusing on the curb is faded of paint. And what are the recommendations? You can write down on the column of recommendation to repainting or to restore to the existing condition. What are the conditions that you want to tick? Either A, B, or C. In this situation, you can choose C, which is need immediate action. For remarks, it is actually refer to the photos of the defect that taken by the surveyor. For resources available, if you want to get some extra reading, let's refer to the resources available, which is Garis Panduan Pemeriksaan dan Penilaian Bangunan JKR 2160200413, Malcolm Hollis 2000, RICS 2012.